Welcome everyone, let's dive right into the sweeping reforms in India's Waqf administration, rectifying historical imbalances that have affected so many communities.
Yeah, absolutely. So, we're talking about a major overhaul of the old system, right? From what I gather, the 1995 framework had some serious issues.
Definitely. The 1995 Waqf Act, you see, was quite problematic. It granted extensive unchecked powers to Waqf boards, which led to arbitrary land grabs and property mismanagement.
Yep. It sounds like they could declare almost any land as Waqf property, doesn't it?
Exactly, and the crux was Section 40. This provision allowed the boards to unilaterally decide on property designations without any independent checks.
That basically turned them into unchecked land grabbers, right?
Right, it's like giving an artist complete freedom to paint over someone else's canvas without permission, which led to widespread encroachment across temples, government lands, you name it.
Yeah, I get that. And beyond that, the Act seemed to override even established laws like the Trust Act of 1882, am I correct?
Absolutely, it let the boards ignore legal safeguards, operating almost like a parallel judicial system with final decisions that couldn't, be effectively challenged.
Right. That kind of unchecked authority must have had huge consequences.
Oh, for sure. It's documented. Waqf boards ended up as the third largest landowners in India, holding about 872,000 properties over nearly 1 million acres and valued at around $14.22 billion.
Wow, that's astronomical. Incredible. And what about the Waqf by user doctrine? That sounds like another interesting, yet problematic factor.
Yes, exactly. Under that doctrine, properties could be declared as Waqf based solely on usage for religious activities. No formal documents required.
Sorry, just to clarify. So even if someone originally owned the land, using it religiously could flip ownership in a snap?
Yes, that's precisely the issue. It made the process extremely vulnerable to abuse.
I see. Now contrast that with the new 2025 Amendment Bill. What radical changes does it bring?
The 2025 Amendment Bill is a whole different ballgame. For starters, Section 40 is abolished. Now, any declaration of land as Waqf needs oversight from the district collector.
Right, that definitely introduces a needed layer of checks. So that stops the unilateral decision-making that was so rampant before.
Exactly. And then the Waqf by user doctrine is nullified for future properties. It requires formal documentation and proof of ownership now.
Yes, which should really curb the informal gradual encroachment tactics. Speaking of which, there were documented cases of properties being mislabeled through, staged religious practices, right?
Precisely. There were instances where, for example, lands around ancient temples or sites with long-established religious practices were gradually incorporated into the Waqf fold, often impacting Hindu temples, Christian institutions, even tribal lands.
Yeah, that sounds like a serious misuse of power. And then there's the aspect of judicial oversight. What's changed there?
Oh, that's a big one. The Amendment Bill integrates Waqf disputes into the mainstream legal process. Now claimants can appeal through the Revenue Court, Civil Court, or even the High Court, and decisions are subject to the Limitation Act 1963, ensuring timely resolution.
That's a robust improvement. That seems like it would significantly level the playing field for affected communities.
Right. And importantly, the bill mandates inclusivity within the governance structure. At least 2 women and 2 non-Muslim representatives will now be on the boards.
That's a fascinating development toward balanced representation. I do wonder. Some might argue that these reforms might be seen as interfering with religious matters. What's your take on that?
Well, that's a fair question, but here's the thing. This isn't about meddling with religious practices. It's about ensuring that the administration of vast public assets is done fairly and transparently, protecting everyone's rights, including sacred sites of temples, churches, and tribal lands.
I can see that. And how do the transparency measures factor in?
The amendment bill requires mandatory registration of all Waqf properties on a centralized portal within 6 months, along with audits for institutions earning over Rs 1 lakh. Essentially, it's about curbing corruption and ensuring accountability.
That sounds like a significant step toward transparency. Definitely. Not to mention the striking renaming, turning it into the UMED bill. What do you make of that?
Oh, that's a clever rebranding. UMED stands for Unified Management, Empowerment, Efficiency, and Development. It's like a signal that the focus is shifting from just religious designation to a broader vision of efficiency and equity that benefits all communities, irrespective of
reorientation
religion.
Can be a game changer. And politically speaking, it seems the bill managed to overcome strong opposition.
Indeed. Despite critics, including voices from AIMIM and some Congress leaders, it passed with 288 votes in the Lok Sabha. The government defended it robustly, arguing that it's not about snatching religious sites, but restoring legal principles and fairness across the board.
It's almost, like a civilizational victory, ending a sort of legal apartheid where Waqf disputes were isolated from mainstream oversight.
Yes, definitely. By aligning Waqf administration with established legal norms and protecting diverse interests, it not only safeguards heritage sites, but also ensures gender and religious equity.
A balanced system benefits every citizen. But don't you think there might be concerns about the new checks slowing down legitimate administrative processes?
That's an interesting point. While increased oversight might add layers of bureaucracy sometimes, it's really necessary to protect constitutional rights and preserve our national heritage. The alternate, unchecked power proved far more damaging.
We can't risk repeating past mistakes. Truly transformative reforms like these show that legislative change can pave the way for justice and accountability, even in systems with deep historical roots.
Absolutely. It's a sharp, decisive move towards restoring balance and, ensuring that the management of public assets serves the interests of all communities, opening up the governance process for transparency, inclusivity, and fairness.
Well said indeed.